Parish Church of St Giles at Tydd St Giles in Cambridgeshire. Tydd St Giles is the northernmost village in Cambridgeshire, and if you've seen my film of Tydd St Mary just over the border in Lincolnshire, then you'll appreciate the landscape. Originally, the bell tower, now separate, formed part of the west end, and the east end extended another 30 feet. Looks like this mumpjack deer is as scared of me as I am of it. So, this building is begun in around 1190. During the next 30 years produced the nave with narrow side aisles and chancel together with a bell tower at the west end. The present tower, some 40 feet to the southeast, is of a slightly later date. This second bell tower was built on 4 open arches, which were subsequently filled in, and then 2 of them reopened. The importance of the tower was not just for the bells, but provided a useful lookout and refuge from impending floods. The upper stage of the bell tower was added in the 1300s, built of brick with 2 light bell towers and finished off with a dwarf spire in lead. Not only did the tower form a refuge from floods and formed a refuge for the unfortunate fugitives from justice. In fact, it was to St Giles Church that Stephen Lewin fled in 1373 after causing the death of one John Smith. Here he confessed the felony and was banished. The foundations of all Fendon churches were very shallow and slight, so no specific conclusions can be drawn. But if you see my film of the church at Fleet, you will see another tower standing alone from the main body of the church. This beautiful building has been here for 800 years, reflecting the lives of the thousands of people who have passed through this village, bringing joy of matrimony and of baptism. Standing centrally and looking up at the nave, you will see above the arches a series of bricked-in window spaces, those semicircular ones. These windows served when the side aisles were narrow. No record of any earlier church at Tydd St Giles exists in the Domesday Book, although the church at Tydd St Mary, as just mentioned, is specially referred to. The architecture of the building, with its Norman and early English pillars, suggests foundations of about 800 years, meaning that it is thought that the church was built between 1190 and 1220. It's dedicated to St Giles, who was the patron saint of beggars. The church is built of Barnock rag. Barnock stone was a limestone of peculiar hardness, easily chiselled and especially suitable for buildings with elaborate mouldings and decorations. The round pillars, each individually decorated, are good examples of this. The stone would have been brought to Tydd St Giles by water from Peterborough. In the north aisle is one of the few stained glass windows showing the patron saint with a wounded deer. Maybe my encounter with the mumpjack was a premonition. The old spiral staircase is clearly visible in the northeast vestry. There was once a rood loft above the chancel and probably a screen, and there's evidence of this in the spiral steps leading from the north vestry and the remnants of the roof. During the reign of Edward III, 1327 to 1377, it was a time of great prosperity, and in particular the eastern counties grew rich on the clothing trade, and Flemish weavers settled here. The chancel here was virtually destroyed during a violent storm of around 1741. The Bishop's Visitation Bill for the year 1638 affords an interesting glimpse into the state of affairs then prevailing.
No carpet, nor rail for the communion table. Our minister turneth his face to the west when he kneeleth. No poor man's box. The chest for the church utensils is decayed. The women's Christian names are not expressed in the registers. They want a table of the degrees of marriage. The churchyard fence is in decay. There is a door opening into the churchyard from William Watkinson's house, whereby his piggies come into the churchyard and the graves are rooted up. Edward Whitrat refuseth to give the Saxon his accustomed wages. We present Anne, the wife of Robert Whitrat, for scoffing at an exhortation made by the minister in his sermon. Robert Whitrat nor his wife were at divine service nor sermon neither forenoon nor afternoon on the 30th of September.
The hexagonal font dates to the early part of the 15th century, rich in tracery. The shaft of the font is more recent than the bowl. Thank you for watching this film of the Church of St Giles in Tydd St Giles, Cambridgeshire.